Hey loves, it's your girl Mariah Sincere, and I am back with another bomb live. Today, guys, we're gonna do something a little bit different, right? I kind of wanted to lay off the relationship talk slash life advice. But for those of y'all who are new to my channel, I am a self-love coach who specializes in helping people to radically transform their lives. So, if you do need some one on one coaching, if you like my perspective on things, hit me up. My email is thepassportsis@gmail.com, and the link is in the description box. With that said, today we have something different because I definitely don't want to talk about relationships all the time. So today we're going to be talking about the state of music today. Next week we're going to talk about aliens. So I have a special guest coming on next week. So let me get into it real quick. What inspired this particular live is that maybe about a month ago I was at a party. I got invited to a party with some older millennials. So most of them are like, but were between the ages of like 38 and 45. And I was like one of the youngest there, and then there were like a couple Gen Z girls there. So now let me be clear before I talk about my experience. I told the host, I told them what I felt about the music. And I ended up having a great time regardless, but y'all, it was not the music experience, it just wasn't that good. Like, it seemed what I noticed about a lot of older millennials on up, like Gen X's and boomers, is they don't keep up with the time and they don't keep up with the music. And not just that, you kind of have to, especially if like at this particular party they didn't have a DJ, they put together a playlist. So maybe the party would have been like the vibes, because we did end up having fun, but we had fun because we decided to have fun. Like, we decided to just say, hey, you know what, the music is not all that, but we're gonna turn up still. um and of course the young people were the life of the party, and keeping all the older, because they're not old, like 38, 45, like it's still young. And I'm going to talk about that, it's not old at all. But we decided, hey, we're going to get everybody about their seats, right? um but I remember kind of like trying to suggest, hey, why don't y'all play this, why don't y'all play that? And there was just an aversion. I feel like a lot of the millennials on up, especially older millennials, don't want to listen to anything new. They don't want to try anything new. And a part of me was like, well, maybe, like, is the music just that bad today? Like, maybe it's just that bad that people don't want to try anything new. But y'all know I'm a Gemini. I like to keep up with the times. I like to stay young at heart. And I'm a young millennial. Like, I'm like, I was born in 93. So I still listen to a lot of the same music that Gen Z does. I'll say older Gen Z. I don't really necessarily like a lot of the music that the Gen Z people on the young end listen to, but I'll still listen to it. If it's a bop, it's a bop, right? So I'm a Gemini. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to get to their age and have this mentality towards music. I don't want to get to their age and not know any of the new songs. What's up, Simo? Good to see you, brother. I don't remember if I told you if you came on, but I don't remember if I told you thank you for the Cash App. I really appreciate that. I think this might be your first time getting on since then. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit young. I'll be 32 this year. So again, the Gen Z who are like 28, 26, 25, I'm listening to the same things that they're listening to, but I'm also old enough to remember all the lyrics to all the songs from the 90s and early 2000s. So that was another thing they were surprised about. They was like, oh, she's singing a song and she know the lyrics better than us. Yes, I feel like I came up in a time that was really special for music. I mean, the 90s was like peak for music, but then also what was going on with music in the early 2000s, really between 2000 and 2005, that was when it was really good. And then, of course, you have the latter part of the 2010s where you get the rise of like Young Money and people Lady Gaga, and like pop music just kind of was a little different. Honestly, I feel like anything after, you could tell after like 2011 that the music was on its way down. Honestly, you could. It wasn't as bad as what it was today, but it was on its way there, right? Don't even trip. I just make sure the money gets to where I sent it. I know that's right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. I really do. I put a lot into this. But and thank y'all for being here. If you're just now coming in, hit the like button. That helps people know that I'm on live. Early 2000s was my musical awakening. Man, the music was so good in the early 2000s. You got to think about it. That's when Murder Inc. was doing their thing. That's when Ashanti came out. Ja Rule was doing his thing. 50 Cent. Even with the Spanish music, that's when everybody started really listening to reggaeton. That's when Nori came out with Oye Mi Canta, and that's when what else? What else came out? Culo. Like that's when that reggaeton mixed with the rap started becoming more mainstream. Um, and then people still sung about love. That's another thing. People were still singing about love, even the rappers. I don't really hear any rappers making a song like 21 Questions now. Like you don't hear that no more. Hey, Sultry. I'm a 94 baby. Okay, so right. We grew up in that time where I feel like, and here's the thing. If you talk to a boomer or somebody like that, they'll say that our music was worse than their music. But like I went back and listened to that stuff, and this is what I'll say. I think what the boomers and then missed was like the acoustics of it all. I think they missed the whole live band thing of it all. But I feel like the 90s was a time where you could mix the live music and the instruments that people actually played with the electronics, right? I mean, it was just a really beautiful merging of past, present, and future. But I feel like the further we get away from the past, the worse the music actually becomes. So I don't want to gaslight about this. I'm going to play a video that I found on TikTok. Guys, I'm eating my dinner right now. I just have some ground beef. I'm trying to like not eat bread and pasta and stuff like that at night. So I'm going to play this video of this other guy's opinion because he thinks that the music now is good. I was a weirdo Neptunes head. I like the Neptunes. Pharrell and Jay Dilla got me into music theory. No, I mean, I like the Neptunes. That's not weird at all. Okay, give me 1 second.
When will we be out of the talentless music era we are experiencing? I don't really think that we're in one. I'm assuming you're talking about like very mainstream commercial like pop artists. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Which if you don't like that stuff, like okay, but why are you relying on mainstream media to feed you music that you like? Like there's all sorts of people making great stuff. You're just not looking for it. I don't know.
Okay, I agree with him and then I don't agree with him because the reason why people complain about the mainstream music now is because there was a time where we used to be able to rely on the mainstream feeding us our music and it was good. I mean, think about all those songs from like the 90s and early 2000s that you can still play today. There are so many songs that have came out in the past like 10 years that, I mean, honestly, I don't remember them. They're forgettable. Or if somebody played them today, it wouldn't it wouldn't be as much of a bop. Yes, there have been some breakout songs, but nothing like nothing like the mainstream music that came out in the 90s. Y'all understand? There are pop songs that Ariana Grande is putting out today that still won't get the reaction that Britney Spears was putting out in 1999. So there's a difference here. So yes, I do agree. you do have to evolve with the times. And we are living in a time where if you want to find good music, it's out there. There are people who are making music that's sonically pleasing. There are even Gen Zers who are making music that's very 90s adjacent, and it's out there. There are people who can actually sing. There are people who can actually dance. You have to dig for it now, is the difference, versus in the 90s and early 2000s. It was just so easy. We would all come home, listen to the same music, watch 106 in Park. So we had shows like this, 106 in Park, what was it, TRL, things like this that kind of help mold the culture and cultivate our music taste. And we just don't have that now anymore. So yeah, you do have to really dig for it, and that's the major difference.
I don't really think we've ever been in an era of talentless music. I mean, there's always people making good stuff. You just have to go out of your way to find it sometimes. When will we be out of the talentless music era we are experiencing? I don't really think that we're in one. I'm assuming.
Yeah, so it's like I agree and then I don't agree. Let me see what you're saying. Yeah, I love listening to Music Soul Child Avant in the early 2000s. That's partial why my YouTube name is Sultry. He's one of my musical influences. We don't even have R&B that's like that anymore. Mainstream R&B. Like for example, I listen to SZA. I listen to Kaylani. I listen to, who else do I listen to? Ari Lennox. I'll listen to her. I'll listen to Coco Jones. I listen to all that. Even Chris Brown's music is not as good as it used to be. Like the probably like the only song that he has out today that I would say is as good as his music that he made when he first came out would be that Residual song, right? And he's still super talented. But if I think about the amount of music he's put out in the last 10 years, none of it is as good as his first two albums. Absolutely none of it. Right. So but his performance has gotten better. His dancing has got better. His singing has gotten better, right? But it's the music in itself. So when I listen to the R&B now, it sounds depressing. That's another thing. A lot of it is very like, let's think of a mainstream art. Whitney Houston. We don't have a Whitney Houston. We don't have a Whitney. Even though Ariana Grande has a powerhouse voice because of the music that she chooses to make, we don't have a Whitney. We don't even have a Mariah Carey in the mainstream. I'm pretty sure people could give me plenty of examples of these like lesser known independent artists that they listen to who might sound just as good. I don't know. I haven't heard them. But we definitely don't have a Whitney and we don't have a Mariah. And we don't have anyone as talented as Mariah who can both sing and write as good as she can. We don't have that. And it used to be the standard was that you were like either just that talented or right up under it. I feel like the gap between Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey's talent and the new artists of today is just so wide. But then I think about it, a lot of these artists started off in church. I remember I was listening to a dude who was like, he was saying how the difference between the musicians of today and the musicians of yesteryear was that they were putting in their 10,000 hours since they were kids, right? And a lot of these kids now, they don't grow up in the church. They're not singing in choir every Sunday and then going to rehearsal. Like they're just not putting in that same amount of effort. What's up, SL? Good to see you, brother. We're talking about music today. Tell us what you think. Tell me you know about Dwelling. I don't know who that is. I feel like I've heard the name. What up, Bink? What up, Bink? We're talking about music of today. Y'all tell me y'all's opinion. Do y'all think we're just old or that the music is really trash? I said this earlier. I do make an effort. I make an effort because I don't want to be one of those people who get around young folks or in a mix age setting, and I'm just sitting there not understanding or knowing anything they're listening to. So I do make an effort to try to find good music that Gen Z is listening to and keep up with the times. I think that's very important, especially as you get older. Let me pull up something that I saw on Instagram where basically it said people just basically stop looking for new music at age 33. And I'm like, I don't want that to be me, because normally if you do something in one area of your life, you do it in other areas of life. So if you stagnate in things like music and culture and movies and things of that nature, a lot of times you stagnate in keeping your looks up with the time, keeping your body right, staying up with the fashions of today. And we're in a really special time where people, because of the internet and all these subcultures, you can kind of do your own thing. But I think the best thing is to do your own thing with a modern twist, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let me share this tab. This was from the facts page on Instagram. It says data shows that people stop listening to the newest pop music after the age of 33, which is known as taste freeze. A 2015 study from Ajay Kalia, gathered from listening data from Spotify and Echo, has shown that a recurring trend in people in their early 30s is the taste freeze of the music they like. When you hit that sweet spot where you surrender to full adulthood, you're much more likely to give up looking out for new music. First, listeners discover less familiar music genres that they didn't hear on FM radio as early teens from artists with a lower popularity rank. Kalia explains about the formation of your taste. Second, listeners are returning to the music that was popular when they were coming of age, but which has since phased out of popularity. Roughly around age 33 is when things start to appear more stagnant. But I feel like in people's 30s, that's when they begin to stagnate, period. I think the music is like a symptom of that. Give me a second. Want to catch up to the comments. I seen an interview with Neo saying how people don't put heart in their songs no more. They don't. They don't. I think a part of that too. Look, as much as we talk about the things that we had to endure and the things that we grew up without. And yes, I do know there are plenty of people, and I know there are plenty of minorities that had a lot growing up in the 90s who were middle class. But like, I also remember the birthday parties where we were eating Napoleon ice cream, a cake that we got from Walmart, and like, you had hot dogs. If your parents had money like that, then y'all had pizza. Like, I also remember uh all of me and my siblings being in one room together. Like, I also remember that we used to get our ass whooped, okay, for like anything. I also remember us having to break bread and share a meal more and go outside and having to learn to fight your own battles. I also remember family dynamics being really toxic, and it's something about that struggle, right? And it doesn't even necessarily have to be in the hood. I think in general, even for middle class people, life was just a little bit more, we weren't as soft back then. And I think it's something about that struggle that helps people to cultivate their voice. That's how you feel the music and put the emotions into the music. And I just kind of feel like they're not there anymore. I think the music is not soulful now, and that's the issue for me. Even grunge music from the 90s had soul. Oh yeah, white people back then, they had soul. Guys, actually, I don't want to wait until the end of the video. What I'm going to do, cuz I don't want to be on here by myself, cuz I think this is such an interesting topic. I'm going to put the link in the chat, and whoever wants to come up and talk about this with me and give your opinion, you're welcome to do so. You don't have to get on camera. You can talk from your phone if you want to. Two things can be true. We old, and the music has definitely lost some of its essence. I think it's lost a lot of its essence. Again, I'm not saying I don't hear music that's a bop. like how I kind of go into it when I'm finding new music or listening to some of these more up and coming or mainstream artists. I go into it with the mentality of I'm gonna just listen to it for what it is. I'm not gonna compare this to 2000s or 90s music. It's not going to be that. It's not. It's kind of like here in Colombia. I've made it very well known I do not like Colombian food. I'm not going to say at all, but like if I had to compare it to like Dominican food or Puerto Rican food or Mexican food, it's not even close. It's not even close. However, I'm living here and I don't always want to cook. So I have found Colombian food that I will eat and that I do enjoy, so long as I don't compare it to Puerto Rican or Dominican food or even food from the South. What's up, Cha Cha? How are you? Again, guys, the link is in the chat. If you want to give your opinion, you don't have to stay up the whole time. If you want to come up and give your opinion about the music of today, I try not to take a cynical view of the current musical climate. I think about how my grandparents felt about hearing SWV, Bobby Brown, don't even mention rap. And like, here's the thing, the R&B music, again, is so depressing now. People don't sing those like love ballads, like from the heart. Oh my goodness, like, they don't make and I will always love you. They don't make I always be my baby today. Like, there's nothing like that today. I think most that's another thing about like the R&B adjacent music. A lot of it is about being single and too much of it is about being cheated on. Too much. That's another thing I'm tired of hearing about every time I turn on music that's so-called about love. And none of it is about like somebody changing their ways to be with somebody. None of it is about growing through love to be with somebody. None of it is about like genuine heartache, like in a very vulnerable way. A lot of it is just about cheating, getting their lick back. We knew y'all wasn't ish to begin with. And like, I'm not gonna lie, the more you listen to that kind of stuff, the more in real life it helps you detach from your emotions towards love. It certainly has had that effect on me. You know, music is very powerful. And that's why I was like, is it brainwashing us? Because music will penetrate your soul, even when you don't want it to. That's why in every religion, y'all know I'm a Buddhist. Like, that's why in every religion, like for example, Buddhist monks can't even listen to music, you know, but that's why in every religion they talk about this because it does have an effect, whether we know it or not. I discovered new music through Spotify or YouTube. I never go on Spotify. I go to on Spotify to listen to Joe Rogan. Maybe I should go on there for music. The I don't even think he's just exclusively on there anymore now. 1 second, y'all. It was difficult for me to keep up with the new rappers of the 2010s, but damn, I can't vibe to a minute 45 to 2 minute songs. That's another thing. The music is made for people with low attention spans. And I remember we used to get a rap song that was at least 3 minutes long. So it's like you're not even getting the bang for your listen anymore. And here's the thing, the new kids don't want to listen to those long songs. One thing I will say that I love about reggaeton music is that it's still long. Like if you listen to a lot of Spanish music, they still make songs that are more than 3 minutes long. Listen to any Bad Bunny song, guys. That song gonna go on for a minute. Or even the salsa I'm using now, it still is gonna go on for a very long time. Um, who else still has pretty long songs? I think Afro beats are longer than the rap music now, but even still, I don't really hear in most of the music. You don't get those really good bridges that we used to get. Y'all remember when the bridge used to drop? Y'all remember when Michelle, she was the queen of a bridge. Y'all remember when Michelle used to sing with Destiny's Child? And we always knew her part was the bridge. Yep, I just give it a chance and it sticks. It's on repeat. Yeah. And that's the thing. When you find a good song now, you like play it over and over again because, baby, you don't know when is the next time you going to hear a good one. I'm going to give my opinion, but I'm late to the combo. That doesn't matter. Come on. It does not matter. Everybody else just got here too, really. Hold on. I'm going to drop the link again. If you're late to the combo, that's fine. What up, Olivia? Good to see you, sis. That's exactly why I listen to Anita Baker Station on Pandora. It's easy to become bitter and sad. It is. And paranoid. I hate how limited the range of topics are in popular music. Remember the Lazy song by Bruno Mars? It was such a breath of fresh air that he didn't make a song about love. Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, now they don't really make songs about love. Mm, but yeah, I feel like we definitely had more variety back then. Even like with rap music, I feel like rap music has just become way more about violence, getting back at your ops, and stunting. And mind you, rap has. Oh, I'm gonna add you on Sultry. What up, Sultry?
Hey,
What's
this
up,
is a good
sis?
topic for me.
Right. Okay, hold on. Let me fix my view. What's up? Okay, good to have you back on. Okay, I'm gonna let you talk.
Oh, this could go on forever and ever, but like you were saying, okay, first of all, music sucks because there really isn't any hard like okay, have you seen recently apparently there was an interview. I don't know if the interview is new, but there
Mm-hmm.
was like an interview with Shannon Sharp and Bobby Brown and they were comparing uh Chris Brown to like oh, it was they were comparing Chris Brown to Usher to Michael Jackson. And I'm
Oh
like, you can't compare them. That is they own
no,
separate people.
that's facts. I didn't I like passed by it, but I didn't stop and listen to what they were saying.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't listen to the whole thing either. I just saw it briefly and I'm just like, yeah, no. They are in their own realm. And that's the thing about black folks. They always trying to compare the next person to the next person. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no, like, come on now.
I mean, yeah, because like if I had to compare Chris Brown to his peers, there's no equivalent.
Hmm.
Like if we had to compare him to his peers today, he's the Michael Jackson of today. I'm not even
Okay,
gonna
yeah, I
lie.
could I could
I feel
agree
like
that, yeah.
yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Chris Brown is a better dancer than Michael Jackson. I know some of y'all are gonna get upset with me about that. But in terms of versatility, athleticism, and
Mhm.
acrobatics, Michael's not touching Chris at all. Michael Jackson couldn't do half the stuff that Chris Brown can do.
But I do want to add how you were saying earlier about Chris Brown's music today. Yeah, I actually agree with that because I actually stopped listening to Chris Brown in like 2012. I think I stopped listening to him because like after he did his third album, I kind of fell asleep on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like not on purpose, but I don't know. And then it seemed like okay, this is the thing though. So speaking of Usher and Chris Brown though, see what they did was this happens a lot. Like how you
Mm-hmm.
were saying earlier with you listen to people's first albums and you actually like them. That happens to me a lot with people's music because what happens is they come out and we like their debut albums, but then they like to change their demographic so that they're reaching a different audience. And then their core audience is like, what the hell is this?
They all do this. Black people like to get upset with artists like Justin Timberlake and Jennifer Lopez, but like black artists do it too. Everybody uses black people to get on. It's not just And to me, there's no difference. Like, if, for example, I haven't liked Beyonce's music since she put out that album Four. I think I liked her titled album, but like to me, no albums was as good as her first two albums. I'm sorry, there's no album she has out since then that is as good as those first two albums, right? And you know, she did the same thing essentially that a J Lo or a Justin Timberlake did. It's just people don't say anything about it because she's black. But what is the difference? What, honestly and truly, when you think about it, what is the difference? People use us to build up their audience or help them get onto the mainstream, and then they just completely stop catering to us. Now, I understand you got to go where the money and the longevity is. I get it. So I'm not
Mhm.
necessarily mad at it, but it's like, why does the music have to suck so bad after that?
Okay, like for an example, when Chris Brown did, he got a song that's called "Yeah" 3 times, and it sounds like a little electric sounding. I don't know, disco pop, electric
Mhm.
sounding song. I'm like, no, I can't with this. Like, you gonna have to keep it R&B for me. That pop stuff, I can't do it.
Yes, that's when I stopped listening to him. Around that whole era where he decided he wanted to do all that electronic music. No, I don't like that. Um, Bad Bunny be going in. He do, he do. If y'all have not heard that song from the album he put out before this last one, there's a song on there called Monaco. This dude raps for like 4 minutes straight. He got bridges in there and everything. He changing his beat, he changing his cadence, but like you can tell, like there's a reason why he is the most um the highest paid rapper, even above American rappers today. He is the most successful rapper, right? He be putting effort. Yes, Bridges, bring them back. Michelle killed if. Oh yeah, she did. That was my jam on Destiny Fulfilled. Like we don't even get that. Like I know all the girlies are trying to like bring these R&B groups back, but like I think the difference between the R&B groups of yesterday and the R&B groups of today, for example, if you think of TLC, they all had these very different personalities, right? It wasn't like you had a group of girls who were all trying to be the same. No, they had different types of beauty and they had these different personalities. And then you just kind of picked a group member to identify with. And like that's lacking today. People can't sell an R&B group like they used to be able to do, right? What do you think about that, Sultry?
Hmm. I don't know. I really don't got no commentary on that one. That's kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Oh,
did see earlier that you know how they did the Millennium Tour recently.
oh, I
And
saw that
so
girl.
you said what?
I saw that.
Okay, yeah. Somebody was talking about earlier today how like if they decide to do another one that they should bring about like all the old male groups and do a Millennium Tour like that.
Yeah, as long as they're like millennial groups, like if we're talking about, I would like to see, and I know we think they're two different demographics, but they're actually not. Because black people used to listen to Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. I would like to see NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, B2K. I would like to see them all go on tour
You
together.
think
But
that would make something like that though?
I think I think it would be good at the very least, because I don't think you could get Day 26's audience. Like Day 26 and Backstreet Boys definitely have different demographic. But I feel like
Mhm.
of the R&B groups,
Yeah.
B2K was the more mainstream. I definitely think you could throw B2K in there with Backstreet Boys and NSYNC for sure. It's just NSYNC won't get together because they have so much drama. They all of these boy groups went through a lot of the same stuff that B2K went through with Chris Stokes and getting touched. So it's very well known that it was always somebody taking it for the team. You got Justin Timberlake is the Omarion in terms of the contention that's kept up to where they can't go on tour together. You had the fact that they sabotaged JC such Chazez's career because they didn't want him to compete with Justin. So there's so much, animosity. It's kind of similar to the animosity that B2K keep up. What I will say is I don't want Omarion to go on not one another tour and think he can do it without B2K.
Yeah, that's my Scorpio brother, but his head is too full.
Too damn full. He's acting as if this is still 2004. He's acting like this is the year that he put O out. He's acting like this was when Touch first came out. No, he needs to understand at this point, y'all are artists that are playing your old music. Don't nobody want to hear nothing new from Omarion. I don't want to hear nothing new from Omarion. Don't want to hear nothing. I want him to play the songs that we like from his albums. And then I need B2K. If he want to do his little solos in between their performances, that's fine. We want to hear B2K.
You ain't tired of hearing that song, that bump, bump, bump. I'm so
Hell
over it.
no. I want to hear bump, bump, bump. I want to hear because they had so many other songs. Like they had Why I Love You, Everything, Baby Girl, I Need a Girlfriend. They had so many other songs. Like they don't just have that one song. Boys for Life. There's so many songs.
No, but you know what group they said need to come back though that didn't really get a fair chance?
Who?
They was talking about B5, the group P, you know who what that man group of boys that he had prior
Yes.
to the making a band. Those boys. And so they trying to come back and they doing like little shows and stuff, but they not mainstream like they was.
No, they never got as big as B2K did.
Yeah.
None of them, even Mindless Behavior, never got as big as B2K did. Do they like that Mindless Behavior? Here, I put it to you this way: B2K, if they didn't want to have a Millennium tour, they wanted to go on tour by themselves and feature a couple acts. They could still do well. Am I saying they're gonna sell out a big arena? Well, I don't know. Maybe it depends on how good the show is. They could still do well. B5 can't sell out a show. And
Yeah.
Mindless Behavior, I don't think they could either. Like, and none of their music was to the quality of B2K. The outfits, the performances. And that's what I'm saying. Back then, they used to have people that knew how to put that shit together, girl. That was the thing. They knew how to package it to us. They don't know how
Right.
to do that anymore the way they used to. They're not
I
willing to
don't
put in the
think
money.
honestly, right. That's part of it. But I don't think it's that they don't know how. It's probably because everything says everything is manufactured by the machine nowadays. They don't care to, give them media training and, things of that nature.
That's right. Like the stuff these people do on social media today, they would even in interviews, because social media, it kind of makes it hard to control yourself. But even in the stuff these artists say in interviews now, you would not have been able to pay the artists of yesteryears to say in interviews. So it's kind of like the mysteriousness is gone too.
I think that nowadays, people don't value celebrities like how they used to because we see them on a daily basis and we have more access to them because of social media. That could be part of it too.
I think so too. And like I think for the longest, Beyonce was trying to stay off of social media, but then she kind of like for her, it was like, okay, well, I want to sell merchandise. I want to do Ivy Park. And it's like now they have to kind of get on social media because now you have a lot of artists that want to sell merchandise too. Or they want to, music is not paying the way it used to. That's the thing. Artists in the 90s, early 2000s, 70s, and 80s, they used to be able to make their money off of album sales and tours. Like, they used to make money off of just music. Now, like, streaming doesn't pay anything. They're not selling albums anymore. So it's like the only way that they can make money is touring and selling merchandise or selling some type of skincare line or something like that. So they're trying to diversify their income. So they have to be on social media, or else people are like, they're not relatable. But Beyonce so social media trained that even when she tries to come off as relatable, it seems inauthentic. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's not like when Rihanna does it.
Yeah. I might say this, somebody might get offended, but I just feel like Beyonce lost her spark. That's
Girl,
my opinion.
she looked like, I don't know if this has to do with getting older, because even me, I'm like, dang, I feel like I don't have the same light in my eyes the way I did when I was like in my 20s. Um, but then
What do you
I
mean by
don't
that?
know. There's like a bright eyedness. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, sometimes I catch myself, if I just kind of like glance at myself in the mirror, there's like a sadness to my eyes that wasn't necessarily there before. Um, I remember watching an interview that Beyonce did with Oprah,
Mhm.
and she had like that young, this is when she was like in her early 20s. I think she had just put out um what was that album she did? Oh, Sasha Fierce. She just put out Sasha Fierce, and she was talking about Jay-Z and her marriage, and she was like, talking about how she loved him so much, and she was so bright-eyed. And I'm like, now when you see Beyonce and she's not doing an interview, you just randomly see her sitting somewhere, she looked like she be high. Like, her eyes be kind of low. Even when she smiles, there seems like there's just sadness behind the smiles.
Mm.
I hope I explained that well. Mm, okay, so what do you think about the rap music?
Trash.
Okay, why?
Just okay. First of all, I'm an R&B girl,
Okay.
so I can't really speak too much on the rap, but I can speak on like the female rap. I'm not really into it. I think Glorilla has a cute little bops and stuff, but I don't really see longevity for her. Um, I honestly was a fan of Lotto before she got like super mainstream,
Hmm.
but I really don't know how much longevity she has. And that Miss Sexy Red, I just can't do her.
Sexy Red is like, okay, I'll be honest. When Glow first came out with FNF, it was a bop,
Mm-hmm.
but I honestly did not like Glow's music because I was like, this is way too vulgar. Then Sexy Red came out, and I'm like, Glorilla is a nun. So because of
Really?
Sexy Red, I actually like Glorilla's music more.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, it's not as vulgar as Sexy Red's. Glorilla's music be more about not getting played and kind of like handling these dudes. Um,
I'm gonna be honest. I
okay.
think I like Glorilla over Megan.
Why?
Cause I feel like Megan, her music is starting to sound the same. Like she say the same stuff. But I feel like Glorilla, like she does kind of say the same stuff, but it's like her songs, I don't know. I guess like the way that her songs are produced, they sound different as opposed to like the same beat or the same tempo. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Megan, I would put her in the category of like, if I had to compare her,
Mhm.
this is like down south, Pimp C, Bum B. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
She's got a. They put her lyrics over new beats, but it's an old school flow, and
Mhm.
it's good. Like, it works for somebody like me. Like she came up off of her Texas audience. Like it's cool. I think with Glorilla, I think she does a lot more collaborations. Glorilla's music is a little bit more, I think, lighthearted than Megan Thee Stallion's is.
Yeah.
Um, I think too, it's kind of like a personality difference. So Megan Thee Stallion has that bad bitch persona, right? And I think with Glorilla, everybody kind of seen her come up like we see. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to say she was ugly or nothing like that. But when you compare her from F and F versus like she actually grew up. You know what I'm saying? And she
Yeah.
grew up in such a way. It's not that she looks extremely different than what she did before. It was like she made because she wasn't an ugly girl. All she had to do was make some minor tweaks and like get in the gym, and it's kind of like watching your little sister or your little cousin and them kind of have a glow up and then still keep that that kind of like down to earth personality.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like Glorilla is more relatable than Megan.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think so too. And I think part of that is because Megan just kind of has this again, and it's not her fault. This is who she is. She's tall. She's already a tall girl. And when you're a woman and you grow up tall, you gotta kind of have like either you're gonna be insecure because people are gonna
Mhm.
talk about your height, or you're gonna walk around with your chest out and owning it, like, yeah, I'm that chick. You feel me? So
Right.
luckily for her, she chose to do the I'm that chick thing. And then on top of that, I mean, she's fine. She been beautiful. She started off on HBCU campuses. She was at Prairie View rapping. Um, so I think with Megan, it's just like the average chick can't necessarily relate to her, right? Not in the same way, like, and I'm not even saying because I get exactly what you're saying. I'm just saying, even like, because all type of women listen to Megan and Glow, but I just kind of feel like you said, there's a like, okay, yeah, there's no relatability in some of the stuff she said. She talks a lot of pimp talk too. And most women really ain't on that. Hello?
You know who I don't like?
Who?
Cash Doll.
Why? That's my girl. What? Okay, you gotta
Uh,
explain this.
I don't know if it's her music that I don't like, or is it okay, because I just feel like every female rapper cannot have the same persona, and it's like they keep recycling the same stuff. Like how you said earlier about Megan being a bad B. Okay, so what is Nicki? What is this person? What is Cardi B? You feel what I'm saying? Like it is feel like they all try to give the same tease, and like for me, Cash Doll, she just don't. I don't know. She don't give that for me.
Really? Well, let me say
Because
this.
okay,
Go ahead.
let me say this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's almost like the way that I see Cash Doll,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I kind of see her like how I see myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you are really a upstanding woman, but then your music
Oh,
makes you sound like it don't compute for me. It's not
I
like two
see what you're
different
saying.
things.
I see what you're saying because Cash Doll really is classy and she carries herself very classy.
Mhm.
I feel like though when I listen to her music, it computes. Like when I listen to Cash Doll, I don't get Sexy Red vibes. I don't even get Glorilla vibes. A lot of the stuff that she says in her music, it are the same type of gems that she'll drop in her interviews. Like Cash Commandments. That is some stuff that I actually see her kind of living by. I don't know if you've heard that song.
Yes.
But it's like to me that's her rap lyrics to me sound more mature and more boss. Like when I listen to Cash Doll, I don't hear bad bitch. I hear boss bitch. And that's not something that I necessarily hear when I listen to the other girls. I hear a grown woman that knows how to move, not necessarily the girl that's out here trying to, you know, have a whole phase and scam dudes or get money from dudes or be it like I don't necessarily hear that. Am I tripping?
I hear what you're saying, but it's like she trying to give Megan in a way.
You think?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Give me a second.
Because it's like I don't want to use the word aggression, but let's use the word grit. It's like she's forcing grit in her voice for me.
You don't think she raps how she talks?
Something is a little fake.
Okay. 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 I'm not picking that up, but I'm gonna have to listen again. I'll have to listen
Mm-hmm.
again. Okay, let's see what Cha Cha's talking about. Did you see the top female rappers of all time list? They disrespected the F out of my girl Left Eye. What place did they put her in? Yeah, Left Eye, she don't get the credit that she deserves. I know we think she does because people are always paying homage to her, but like, let's be clear. Left Eye is a Gemini. You know what? We just talked about this whole like astrology thing, and I think this is another reason why I think astrology is real. When you think about all the like the top, if you pull up a list of the top 10 rappers, like half of the list is going to be Geminis. Like of all time, half of the list is going to be Gemini. Half of them are going to be Gemini. Pac was a Gemini. Biggie was a Gemini. Right now, Kendrick is a Gemini. Uh, it's somebody else that's a Gemini right now. Central C, who's on top right now, is a Gemini. Dave, who's like one of like the second best rapper out of the UK right now, is a Gemini. Like there are so many rappers who are Geminis. Did I say Biggie? Biggie was a Gemini. And it's something about Gemini men who know, or just Geminis in general, when they decide they want to do music or do something with writing, they just know how to put their words together really well. JC has the voice. That's you talking about. Yes, I want Instinct to get back together so bad. Maturing is realizing that JC was a better vocalist than Justin Timberlake and still is to this day. Justin Timberlake was a great vocalist though. Binky, do you prefer the writings on the wall or Destiny Fulfilled? Oh, we can have that debate. Okay, so Sultry, when you think about Destiny's Child's album, which one? Writings on the Wall or Destiny Fulfilled? I'm gonna go with Writings on the Wall.
I have not a clue what the first one is.
Writings on the Wall was their second studio album. So Writings on the Wall is the Bugaboo,
Mm-hmm.
Jump In, Say My Name.
No, I'm gonna have to
That
go with the second one.
So you're gonna go with Destiny's Fulfilled over Writings on the Wall. What do y'all think, chat? Hold on, let me see what they talking about. I used to want to hunch all the brothers in B5 when I was a little girl. Not all of them. You ain't had your favorite?
No, I had a favorite. Mine was Brian.
What? I don't even know their names. Simo says I skipped Diddy verse on Bump Bump Bump. I ain't gonna hold you. I listened to it today, and I ain't skip his verse. I listened to it all the way through.
You listened to it today.
I do. Girl, hold on. Let me pull up. Let me see if y'all can see. I got all these. Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all. So I be listening to this stuff still. I listen to new music too. Hold on. Let me pull up my title account. I got that album, The Pandemonium, and the other album downloaded. Hold on. Girl, here it is. This is my downloaded albums. Here, you see this? Pandemonium, baby. I sure did. I played it today. I listen to that album almost every day.
You must have had B2K posters in your room or
Lil
something.
Fizz. Lil Fizz. Y'all, I can't believe how my life turned out, honestly and truly. Me and Lil Fizz was supposed to be married with some kids, okay? That was my man. You couldn't tell me nothing. Honestly and truly, I don't understand all the hype that Omarion gets, because let's be clear. When B2K was out, before Omarion went solo, J Boog and Fizz was the ones who was getting all the attention and had all the hoes. That's why J Boog
That's true.
and Omarion kind of beefed out now. J Boog slept with Omarion's mama, and Fizz used to always take Omarion's girlfriends. The only reason why they couldn't go solo is because Lil Fizz can't sing. He barely be dancing. And the rap, well, we see how his rap career turned out, but it's in terms of the like when he was in B2K, in terms of the looks and the rapping, like it worked for him in that group setting, you know?
Okay, so is he still supposed to have kids with you today, or did that change?
No, because he look a mess now. Like, well, Fizz is one of them light skinned dudes who, like, first of all, I kind of got turned off when I was watching Love and Hip Hop, and I seen the type of
Yeah.
things he like today. First of all, your baby mama's crazy, and I like Moniece. Don't get me wrong, but she's thrown off. And then you went from Moniece to remember he was dating that Hispanic girl, and I'm like, sir,
Right.
it wasn't the fact that she was Hispanic; it was the type of girl she was dating. Like you're letting this girl who like is not even supposed to be on your caliber play you, like you begging her to want to be with you. And I'm like, sir, stand up, you know? And it was just kind of like watching him on Love and Hip Hop made me not like him a lot. You feel me? And not just
Yeah.
that, I don't think he's aged. Like you could tell he smoked too much. His lips, you know, ain't nothing wrong with dark lips, but it needs to look right up against your skin tone. And his because he's light skinned and his lips have gotten so dark, it gives struggle. It gives you lived a hard life. He to me, he just ain't been. He was a goofy. Then he did that OnlyFans where he had his bussy on the what you call it on the screen. I just can't with him, you know. But when we look at him, like when he was young, let me pull up a young picture of Lil Fizz at 15. Now, when he was 15, I was like, I want to say 8 or 9. So don't act like I'm being weird.
Lil Fizz give F boy.
He give F boy, but like an expired F boy. You feel me? Like it's not. Oh my god, I'm about to share this. When we look at him when he was young, he was cute. Let me make sure y'all can see. Oh my goodness, this young man was so cute. Y'all look at him. He was so cute. Do y'all see? Can y'all see? He was so cute. He ain't nowhere near that cute looking now. I actually had a boyfriend that looked just like him. So I guess I probably did date him for a little bit. I had a boyfriend a few years ago that looked just like him, but he was from the islands. Okay, so 3LW could have got it. Cha-cha. All three of them. They were all pretty. But here's the thing about 3LW. They were all pretty in a different way. Right?
Guess what?
What's
My
up?
first CD was 3LW.
Which album did you have?
The Three Little Women, the first one. It was red or
Wow.
something. Yeah, that
Mhm.
was my first ever CD.
Yeah. Yeah. I like 3LW. Then it's crazy how they made that transition from 3LW to the Cheetah Girls.
Yeah. But that gave the best coin for Miss Adrian.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it did. I wish they could have brought Notori with them, but yeah, all that
Hmm.
drama, all that was a lot of drama. But I wish they would have gone further as a group. Like I'm glad we
Yeah.
got the Cheetah Girls, and I would never like, I would have 3LW break up to make the Cheetah Girls every single time, right? But I wish they could have had a longer run, is what I'm trying to say. I feel you,
Hmm.
Binky. It changes for me depending on how I'm feeling. If I'm on my city girl ish, I'm choosing TWOTW. If I'm fully embracing the fact that I'm grown ass woman, DF. Okay, what are y'all saying? I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to catch up. I miss Lotto with the thick ass wigs and lashes. I don't remember her from then. Yeah, I like Megan too, Binky, but I can understand why she not necessarily as relatable as Glorilla. But if I had to choose between the two, I'm choosing Megan every day. And part of that might have to do with the fact that I'm from Texas. So she has a very familiar sound for me, I can't rock out with too much of Meg's music. I wish she would show more range with her topics and production. She has it in her. Yeah, like as far as the lyrics, I can't really think of too many girls who are better lyricists than her right about now. Even the girls who make better songs than her, if you had to put them all in a booth and have them freestyle, there are not too many. Like I can't think of anybody who would actually out rap Megan. What do you think about that, Sultry?
Uh, I can't speak on that. You gonna have to ask somebody else.
What do y'all think? Who do y'all think can out right now? Drop somebody name in the chat in terms of the mainstream girlies. Don't drop somebody that y'all know I don't know. Drop somebody in the chat that can out rap Megan. That's true, SL. We have heard it's like we've heard it all before. And I remember back then, like, even if you think of them albums that let's think it's T.I. Man, we ain't even really got deep into it yet. When
I
I think
love
about the
Ti.
rapper, yes, like now, like, yes, even though him and Tiny be on some other stuff, and he is very misogynistic, but hey, all these rappers are, to be clear, they kind of came up in a different time. But like when I think about that King album, come on
Mm-hmm.
now. Come on now. When you think of that song he did, rappers aren't making songs like Live in the Sky no more.
Mm-hmm. My favorite song,
Come
Motivation.
on. That's my jam, girl. Rappers ain't really making songs like that. And the thing
Yeah,
I loved about T.I. is he used to be able to tell a story, but then it
right.
was also really mainstream. Rappers ain't making nothing like it was just a different feeling. Like, yeah, these rappers talk about sliding on their ops and all that, but like, ain't nobody making no, you don't know me. You don't know me. Ain't nobody making nothing like that you can really feel and sing with your chest. Is what I'm saying. It just don't hit the same. Um, what you know about that? It was so many Ti songs. Like I'd have to really just sit here and think. What was that other song? That I really like. Top Back. Rappers ain't making a song like Top Back. I like my beat down low, like my top
Yeah.
let back. And it just kind of gave you the feel like it put a feeling in you of like
No,
you
the
was just
song that was like the song that was like get them out, that song.
bring them out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bring
like,
them out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Girl, okay, when that song came out, I was in the 6th grade and I was on a ghetto cheer squad. I'm gonna say it was a ghetto cheer squad because we was one of them cheer squads they not really cheer squads. We be stepping and doing them MA. Tell me how you got that way, your mama. Them type of cheer squads. So,
Uh-huh.
but I was at a Mexican school, but like most of the girls on the team were Mexican, and then you had like the black. Like I was a cheer captain, and then you had the black girls who kind of we got them together and made sure they had the rhythm, and we gave them their chants and all that. So we were cheerleading for soccer teams at soccer games, and we had a whole little chant to bring them out, y'all. Like it was
Yes, that
so
was that
fun.
song.
That was that girl. It really was. Hold on. Cha Cha says, I F with Kevin Gates' music due to the messages he pushes and the fact he incorporates his real life in his music. He do be on his songs telling his business. I'll be honest, I will listen to Kevin Gates if he's a featured artist. He's not necessarily somebody I go listen to. I'm looking out for his music. But for example, when he got on Mo3's Broken Love, I'm like, okay, yeah, this verse hit. So if he hops on the track with an artist I like, I'll listen to him. Glow to P. Memphis is heavy on that pimp talk. Yeah. I F with Kevin Gates' music due to the message he pushes in the fact. Oh, you said I read that already. Ken the Man is hard. She hasn't had that mainstream hit yet though. Ken the Man, I wouldn't even know there was a female artist with her name like that. Is that on purpose? Rock Nation signed Ken the Man in order to sabotage her career and make sure she's not in Megan's way. I've heard they do that. That they will sign an artist that, they will sign an artist that they feel like is going to compete with their artist just so they can dead their career. That's messed up.
You know what's crazy how you just said that? I literally saw a TikTok today And they said that Beyonce signed Chloe and Halle just so she could bring up her daughter to be in the spotlight and to sabotage them.
You know what's so crazy about that thought process to me? We're in such a different time. I can understand them doing that back in the day, but like we're in such a different time. Like back then, there could only be one. So, for
Mhm.
example, if there would have been a Selena Quintanilla, there would be no Jennifer Lopez.
Mhm.
Back then, if Aaliyah would have gone as far as she should have went, there probably wouldn't have been a Beyonce. But we live in such a different time because there's so many different subcultures and the internet is so diversified that like I don't even see the need to do that anymore because there's space for everybody to compete. Hey Kate Cherry, this is my first time seeing you. I hope I said your name right. Okay, so you agree with me on my comments about Cash Doll. She from Detroit. We don't force grit. It's in us. It's a girly grit, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like she's forcing it, but again, I have to go back and look and see. SL, Andre 3000, Cube, Lauren Hill, Geminis. Come on now. Like the case is making itself. Geminis are like when they are talented, are really talented at putting songs together. The B2KT is scalding hot. Y'all think that y'all do y'all think we're ever gonna get the real story on what happened with B2K? I mean, I believe Rasby. I feel like he gave us the real story. Do you know anything about that, Sultry?
Nope. Nope.
Not SL be singing the sheet of reason in the shower. No, who broke your heart? Do any of y'all still listen to Robert? I know I don't do without even trying. His fingerprints are all over the music industry. I mean, I don't think he's getting paid from his music anyway, so it don't matter if you listen to him or not. You feel me? Like, here's the thing, man. A lot of these artists are weirdos. So if you have the mentality of I'm not going to listen to a person's catalog of music because they did some weird shit or we know they touch kids or they did something like that. I mean, honestly and truly, especially the ones who like got on, you would probably have to stop listening to like majority of mainstream music. The stuff I be hearing they be doing in Easter drills
Mhm.
with kids, things like that. So, I mean, you just got to know your intentions. Your intentions are not necessarily to support somebody that engaged in that type of activity, but like the music is the music still, you know?
Yeah,
So, I
like I
mean,
feel like it's you can separate the person from the music.
facts. Facts. I mean, and then some people might say, okay, well, if you listen to their music, they're getting paid off of it. Y'all, they ain't making that much money off of them streams. Robert Kelly will never tour. That's where they make their money. They make their money off of touring. Robert, that's why Beyonce and all them still going on tour. You would think as much money as they make, they'd be able to sit down right now. Who else? Mary J. Blige still going on tour. These artists are not making all that much money off of residuals like y'all think. Not enough to support the lifestyles that they live, even though a lot of them have tried to downsize down. They have to go
Did
on
you
tour. So go ahead.
did you see they had this clip going on TikTok with Monica, and
Mhm.
apparently they said she can't sing no more. Did you see that?
I didn't know she couldn't sing anymore.
Yeah, like apparently she had like a recent concert, and like I think they said she had some kind of medical issue and now she can't sing like how she could before.
I hope she invested her money into something. It's a
And
lot of them like,
she was my favorite singer. That's
really?
so sad. Yeah.
Girl, it's a what's his name? I don't know if you listen to Backstreet Boys like that, but Brian Luttrell, y'all know there was the cousins in the Backstreet Boys. Brian was the one who sung. He used to sing a lot of the lead parts, like in "I'll Never Break Your Heart." He sung lead on that. He had a really beautiful voice. He was up there with JC and all them. He very beautiful voice. He cannot sing. And Backstreet Boys is steady going on tour. They've been on tour. They haven't stopped doing music, but he'll be in the concerts. His voice be going in and out. But luckily, the boys let him continue to tour and make money with them because ain't nobody coming to see Backstreet Boys without,
Yeah.
like, we want to see the whole, even if some of them can't sing. But yeah, as you get older and you start having medical problems, Mariah Carey can't sing the way she used to when she was in her 20s, you know?
Mm.
And her songs are complicated. So it's to the point where a lot of her own songs she can't even sing no more. She called him Robert. Yes, baby, she called him by his government name. Doechii, Nicki, and Doja are better lyricists than Megan, in my opinion. You know what? I'm not gonna argue with you. I guess because I wasn't considering Nicki because, like, obviously, come on, like, obviously, I kind of put her in a different lane. I think I'm talking about like the new group of girlies, right? In my opinion, I really kind of wish Nicki would get out of competition with the younger girls because it kind of brings down her legacy. Like, she's better than all of them. There's no need. Nicki will get on a track as a feature with other men and out rap the men. She'll have the best verse. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a woman. It's just true. It's just true. She out raps the men, right? And I know a lot of people might not necessarily agree because she started making all that pop music and stuff like that, that mainstream. But when she wants to, she will
Mm-hmm.
outright rap the men. You know, it's not even close how bad she be dogging the men on these tracks. So I don't necessarily put Nicki in the same, you know, category as
I
a
think
lot of.
that I think that Nicki and Omarion almost act similar, where
Okay.
it's like, yes, Nicki, she has already paid her dues. And in a way, Omarion has too. It's almost like they're both trying to prove themselves still.
You don't have nothing to prove no more, girl. You did everything you had to do. I don't, and I'm like, is it the money? Is it the money, or she just want to? And here's the thing: I don't necessarily think, but just because an artist gets to a certain age, it's time to hang it up. Like, Nicki is genuinely one of those artists that if she wants to keep going, she's that talented to where she can keep up with the times. And I can't say that about that many rappers now. You know what I'm saying? But it's like she got to figure out a way to do it to where she ain't lowering herself to seem like she's in competition
Mm-hmm.
with these girls. I will say, Doja, yeah, Doja is a better lyricist than Megan. I don't even put them in the same category because I feel like now Doja makes more pop rap, if that makes sense. But if I had to say who's like a little mini Nicki, it's gonna be Doja. Like, yeah, it's gonna be Doja. I've never enjoyed a full album by Timothy Irene. King is the not Timothy Irene. Girl, you called this man Timothy Irene is the best work though. Girl, she talking about T.I. Girl, she done called this man Timothy Irene. You know his real name is Clifford. Real name is Clifford. Y'all know what that remind me of? That scene in 8 Mile where Eminem was like, "Yeah, your real name's Clarence." Girl, Cha Cha, you had a line for real. Jeezy went off on the Top Back remix. Yeah, man, we don't even got rappers that make like the trap music of today don't hit the way the trap music of yesterday did. It just sounds depressing, but like when you listen to that old Jeezy just makes you ready to hustle. Do you hear me? Like, so when I used to work in the club, y'all, I used to be so tired because I honestly didn't used to get any sleep. And I used to be like, oh my God, I gotta get up. I gotta come, figure out a way to get money. And I was never the type to go to work at night and just be getting like super duper drunk or super duper high. It would be like on occasion, like on Saturdays I would drink. And then like if it was my birthday or something, of course I'm drinking. But like most of the time when I work sober. But out on the way to the job, I would be listening to Jeezy or just something like that to get you motivated to go get some money or some who else would I listen to? What's that boy? Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti will have you ready to go make some money. Do you hear me? But I feel like the new rappers now, even when they make their trap music, I don't necessarily feel motivated to go get to the bag when I listen to them. It sounds too depressing. I used to bump Good Life of King. Okay.
You know what?
Me too.
You know what?
Uh-huh.
I actually miss the era where people would hop on remixes. That's when music was lit.
But do y'all remember when a remix used to actually sound like a whole new song?
It'd be like 5+ people getting on a whole song.
Yes. Like if you listen to what was a really good y'all throw out some really good remixes on here. But okay, one remix that I really like, I'm taking it way back. Y'all remember that group Black? And they made that song 808, and the original song was like an R&B song, and then they remixed the song and it was like she don't got that bump like I do. Like remixes used to be a completely new song, right? That was better than the original. They used to serve a purpose. Now they don't be serving no purpose, really.
I don't think like I would say the remix era was around when we was doing the lean with it, rock with it, that type of era. And then now it's like they not really into remix culture as much as they used to be.
The remix now don't be a real remix in terms of the music. The remix
Mhm.
now is I'm gonna hop on the track. I'm about to hop on the
Right.
same track. That's it. I'm just gonna put my verse on there
Mhm.
now.
Yep.
Let's Get Married remix. Okay, yeah. Bump and Grind remix. Hold on now. The Get Money remix by Junior Mafia goes so crazy. Yes, y'all, the remix used to be good. Remember when T-Pain used to hop on the remix? Come on now. What other remixes were good? I used to like it when Mariah Carey used to make her songs. And then back then for R&B artists, if they remixed the song, they would make it more hip hop. They would make it more rap like. We just don't got that era no more. And part of that has to do with the fact that a lot of the R&B artists want to make their songs sound like rap now. So ain't no point in remixing it. OMG Get Money remix. Yes. Get Money. I remember the 808 remix by Black. It's eerie how Nadia passed in a similar way as Left Eye. And then, you know what's crazy? They, to me, have a very similar voice and demeanor. Y'all remember the member from Black who was on Bring It On, who was like, "Yeah, you been touched by an angel." Natina, yeah, that was her name, Natina. Yeah, she's like, "Yeah, girl, you been touched by an angel." Yeah, her and Left Eye used to sound alike. They had a very similar kind of thing going. Natina was Lil Left Eye, basically. Basically, she was right, and they kind of had that similar kind of beauty, that similar kind of aesthetic. Left Eye discovered Black. Okay, when I think, yes, I do remember that. I wonder if she picked Natina because she sounded similar to her. Ignition remix. This is remix to Ignition. Hot and fresh at the kitchen. Mama rolling that body. Got every man in here wishing. Come on now.
I got to
What else?
remix the
What's up?
5-star chick remix
If it's with Nikki on it,
with
that's
Nikki,
a 5-star.
Trina,
Trina, all of that.
E.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that was a good remix. That was a good remix. But when I think about it, that kind of that was around the time where people didn't necessarily remix the beat. They start hopping on the song because that
Mhm.
song is not that much different than in terms of the beat. Why they ain't necessarily remixed the track. It
That's
sounds
true.
to the original. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mhm.
What else? Like for example, Let's Get Married, that remix. It's a slow R&B song. When they remixed it, it sounds more hip hop rap. It's something you can dance to more,
Yeah.
you know?
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Um, what other
Or like
songs?
or like
I'm trying to
even
remember.
when Usher did his Confession album where he had Confession Part 1 and
Yes,
Part 2.
yes, Confession Part 1 and Part 2 sound completely different, right?
Mhm. Yep.
The remix still had the essence of the original back in the day. Yeah, like so then the remix would have the essence of the song, but it would serve a different purpose. So if
Yeah.
the original song was to make you, be all in your feelings and sad, now the remix is supposed to be for you to get hyped to.
Mhm.
The
Right.
the remix is a hype up of the original song, and now they don't do that anymore. It's just let me hop on the track. Let me hop.
Yeah.
Oh, the Promise remix by Jagged Edge that samples LL Cool J's I Need Love is also a fire remix, y'all. Music. Yeah, I mean, I feel like after doing this live, I don't think it's debatable. Music now does not even compare to music then. I'm not saying that there aren't talented artists. There are very talented artists, right? Um, if I had but they still don't have it's something that's missing. For example, when I think of Dochi's a really good artist. She's very talented. The creativity is there. But if I had to compare Dochi to any artist from back then, we'll say Lauryn Hill, right? Do y'all honestly think that Dochi is as good as Lauryn Hill? Like, and it don't even, and I don't know what it is either. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's something you feel at a soul level. I don't know what it is that makes Lauryn Hill a better artist than Doechii. She just is.
Okay, what's your thoughts on Coi Leray?
I like Coil Ray. I don't. I honestly think she doesn't get the shine she deserves, and I think part of the reason why she doesn't get the shine she deserves is because she's not a surgery girly. She's not a thick girly because
Mhm.
Megan came out with no surgery at first, so she was just thick. She had the body, and Koi is not a surgery girly, but to me, she's a very beautiful girl. She has the sex appeal. If she would have came out in like the 90s or early 2000s
Mhm.
culture where like Megan the Stallion would have been considered fat back then, like she just came
Yeah.
out at the wrong time.
Mhm.
She would have came out during Y2K era. Her
Right.
aesthetic was the standard, and
Right.
now we have, they're bringing the skinny back. They're bringing the Y2K aesthetic back. I don't think it'll ever fully come back. I
Mm-mm.
think now people have just embraced a lot of different body types, and there are just some look. To me, a slim thick girl is never going to go out of style. If you're thick in the right places, you're never going to go out of style. I think Coily Ray is one of those girls who, to me, she's fine how she is now. She's a beautiful girl. I don't understand why everybody has to be thick. I don't get it. It is very uncomfortable as you get older. Gravity, baby. Uh, Look, I'm speaking from experience. You got to work your ass off in the gym. Okay. I wanted to eat some pasta with my spaghetti meat today. I couldn't because I'm about to lay down. I can't have pasta. Hey, Coily Ray can probably eat anything she wants. Um, she'll appreciate it as she gets older,
But do
but it's
you
just
think that I know that she's clearly comfortable in her skin. But now that all the girls are, they're BBL'd or we're all getting in the gym trying to plump up what's back there, don't you think she's eventually gonna, try to thicken up anyway?
I think she will just over time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. These girls have did too much too soon. Over time, the weight is gonna come. So you got a lot of these girls who went and got their BBLs really young and got their breasts done, and they're gonna get. Even Cardi B said that she wished that she would have waited until she hit about 30 before she started doing anything to her body. Surgery is not for girls in their 20s. All of that is for my girls who were trying to maintain 30 and up. Your body
Mhm.
changes, your hormones shift. I know I'm going through this now with having to just completely recalibrate my lifestyle and how I live, because after 30, you can, even if you were eating well in your 20s, people don't tell you this, but you cannot eat all them carbs and bread and pasta and stuff like that in your 30s. So like for somebody like Coily Ray, she's gonna get a bigger butt. She's gonna get bigger boobs. Like she's gonna fill out, just not now. And she won't even have to get surgery to do it.
Wait, how old is she?
Let me see. Coily Ray age. She's 27. So she close. But to me,
Mm.
she's already kind of filled out some. Like she looks way different than when she first came out. When she first came out, it was kind of giving little boy a little bit. And I'm not just talking about in terms of her body shape. I'm talking about how she put it together. And now she's got more of a sultry look, a grown woman look.
That's true. I can say that. Yeah.
Koi's Lemon Cars EP is cute. I listened to it out of the bedroom a few weeks ago and was pleasantly surprised. I like that she has a different voice. I like she has that kind of like smooth kind of, it's not as aggressive as
Yeah, I
everybody
like
else's
her
voice.
voice. Like,
Yeah,
yes.
it matches her. It's not as aggressive.
Mhm.
That's another reason why, okay, I know a lot of people think that Sweetie is trash, but I love Sweetie. Sweetie makes pretty girl music. I like that I listen to her. When I listen to Sweetie, I pull out my lip gloss. I pull out my lip gloss and I'm like, checking my lip gloss, checking in the mirror. Like, it's cute. It's giving cute girl music.
Yeah, I don't like Sweetie.
You don't like her? I like
Nah.
it. It's whatever, it's the vibe you want to be on for that day. She will over time look at Sierra. Yes. Okay, Sierra's body is like perfect right now. You know what I'm saying? And we used to say Sierra was a man back in the day.
That's what they used to say. Yep.
Chai Chai, LOL. Sister sings in cursive, LOL. I love it though. She do. Hopefully, Koi finds some new inspiration after she has her baby. I could do a whole show on her having that baby by Trippie Redd. Baby, I'm not understanding. I'm not
Yeah,
getting it.
that'll be a
I'm
good
looking at
show.
him. Girl, I don't even see the appeal. I'm like, what possessed you to lay down with this gremlin? Because ain't no way. Didn't have a baby by him? Wow, that's wild behavior. I'm 28 and finally starting to fill out. Girl, okay. And in about 2 or 3 more years, you're gonna be like, damn, I can't get this off. Like, it's gonna take y'all, from the time I got here to Colombia last year till now, it took me a year to lose 20 pounds. I love Saweetie's tenacity. Her verse on the Rock Your Hips remix last year was cute. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like Saweetie gives it. It's just like I'm cute. I'm a vibe. I know I look good. Like prissy, not too raunchy. It's like raunchy enough, but not too raunchy. It don't have the raunchiness of like a Sexy Red or even like a Glorilla. Very prissy. Okay, guys, my camera is about to die, so I'm gonna get on out of here. Sultry, thank you so much for coming up. It was
Yes.
good to see everybody in the chat. Thank y'all for participating. This was a fun little live. Um, and we will do more like this. I'm still gonna talk about my like social media commentary. So I'm gonna do all that. But I want to do this. Y'all tune in next Tuesday. Me and GMS are going to do a live on space and aliens. So y'all be looking out for that. With that said, y'all press the like button on your way out. And y'all have a good night. Goodbye.